Mathematics and philosophy are two distinct fields of study, but they share a common goal, the search for truth. In this video, we will explore the relationship between mathematics and philosophy and how they complement each other in the pursuit of truth. A montage of images related to mathematics and philosophy, such as equations, symbols, books, and philosophical quotes. Mathematics is often considered the language of science, while philosophy is the study of fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, values, and reasoning. However, both disciplines rely on logic, reasoning, and abstraction to uncover the underlying principles of reality. A diagram showing the intersection of mathematics and philosophy with logic, reasoning, and abstraction as common elements. In this video, we will delve into the history of mathematics and philosophy, their key concepts and methods, and their impact on our understanding of the world. We will also explore some of the philosophical implications of mathematics, such as the nature of truth, certainty, and reality. A timeline of major milestones in the history of mathematics and philosophy, from ancient Greece to modern times. So, join us on this journey of discovery as we explore the fascinating relationship between mathematics and philosophy and their quest for truth. A transition to the next segment. The history of mathematics and philosophy dates back to ancient times, when thinkers like Pythagoras, Plato, and Aristotle explored the nature of reality and the principles of logic and reasoning. Images of Pythagoras, Plato, and Aristotle, as well as their famous quotes and works. Pythagoras, for example, is known for his theorem on the relationship between the sides of a right triangle, which is still used today in geometry. Plato, on the other hand, developed the theory of forms, which posits that there is a realm of abstract concepts that exist independently of the physical world. A diagram of the Pythagorean theorem and a representation of Plato's theory of forms. Aristotle, a student of Plato, developed his own system of logic and metaphysics, which emphasized the importance of empirical observation and categorization. A diagram of Aristotle's syllogisms and a representation of his concept of substance. These ancient philosophers laid the foundation for the development of mathematics and philosophy as distinct disciplines, but also as complementary fields of study. A transition to the medieval period with images of Islamic and European scholars. During the medieval period, Islamic scholars like Al-Khwarizmi and Ibn Rushd, also known as Averroes, made significant contributions to mathematics and philosophy, such as the development of algebra and the study of Aristotelian philosophy. A diagram of algebraic equations and a representation of Averroes' commentaries on Aristotle. In Europe, philosophers like Thomas Aquinas and René Descartes furthered the study of metaphysics and epistemology, while mathematicians like Isaac Newton and Gottfried Leibniz developed calculus and other branches of mathematics. Images of Aquinas, Descartes, Newton, and Leibniz, as well as their famous quotes and works. Today, mathematics and philosophy continue to evolve and influence each other as new discoveries and ideas challenge our understanding of the world and our place in it. Mathematics and philosophy share some key concepts and methods that are essential to their respective fields. One of these concepts is logic, which is the study of reasoning and argumentation. A diagram of a logical argument and a representation of a syllogism. Logic is used in both mathematics and philosophy to analyze and evaluate arguments, to identify fallacies and inconsistencies, and to construct valid and sound arguments. A diagram of a logical proof and a representation of a philosophical argument. Another key concept is abstraction, which is the process of isolating and generalizing certain features of a phenomenon or concept. A diagram of a mathematical abstraction and a representation of a philosophical concept. Abstraction is used in mathematics to create models and representations of complex phenomena, such as in calculus or geometry. In philosophy, abstraction is used to clarify and analyze concepts such as truth, justice, or beauty. A diagram of a mathematical model and a representation of a philosophical analysis. Mathematics and philosophy also share some methods, such as deduction, induction, and intuition. A diagram of a deductive proof, an inductive argument, and a representation of an intuitive insight. Deduction is the process of deriving conclusions from premises by logical inference, while induction is the process of inferring general principles from specific observations. Intuition, on the other hand, is a form of immediate knowledge or insight that is not based on logical reasoning. A diagram of a mathematical deduction, an inductive proof, and a representation of a philosophical intuition. These methods are used in both mathematics and philosophy to generate new knowledge, to test hypotheses, and to explore new ideas. Mathematics has not only practical applications in science, engineering, and technology, but also profound philosophical implications that challenge our understanding of reality and truth. A representation of mathematical equations and symbols, as well as philosophical quotes and concepts. One of the most fundamental questions in philosophy is the nature of truth. What is truth? How do we know what is true? Mathematics provides a unique perspective on this question, as it deals with abstract concepts and logical relationships that are independent of sensory experience. A diagram of the correspondence theory of truth and a representation of mathematical axioms. Mathematical truths, such as the Pythagorean theorem or the laws of logic, are not dependent on empirical evidence or subjective interpretation, but are universally valid and necessary. A diagram of the Pythagorean theorem and a representation of a logical proof. This raises the question of whether mathematical truths are discovered or invented. Do we discover mathematical truths that already exist in the universe, or do we invent them through our own mental constructions? A representation of Platonism and nominalism, as well as mathematical equations and symbols. Platonism, a philosophical view associated with Plato, holds that mathematical objects and concepts exist independently of human minds and are discovered through intuition or reason. Nominalism, on the other hand, holds that mathematical objects and concepts are human inventions or conventions that have no independent existence. A representation of constructivism and intuitionism, as well as mathematical equations and symbols. Another philosophical view, constructivism, holds that mathematical objects and concepts are constructed by human minds through a process of abstraction and generalization. Intuitionism, a view associated with the mathematician L.E.J. Brouwer, holds that mathematical truths are based on mental constructions or intuitions, rather than on logical proofs or empirical evidence. A representation of formalism and logicism, as well as mathematical equations and symbols. Other philosophical views, such as formalism and logicism, emphasize the role of language and symbols in mathematics and the possibility of reducing mathematical concepts to logical or linguistic structures. In this video, we have explored the relationship between mathematics and philosophy and their shared quest for truth. We have seen how mathematics and philosophy have evolved over time, and how they have influenced each other in profound ways. A montage of images from the previous segments, as well as philosophical and mathematical quotes. We have also seen some of the key concepts and methods that are essential to both disciplines, such as logic, abstraction, deduction, induction, and intuition. A diagram of the intersection of mathematics and philosophy, with the key concepts and methods as common elements. Finally, we have explored some of the philosophical implications of mathematics, such as the nature of truth, reality, and existence. A representation of the philosophical implications of mathematics, with quotes and concepts. Mathematics and philosophy are not only academic disciplines, but also ways of thinking and approaching the world. They challenge us to question our assumptions, to seek evidence and reasons, and to strive for clarity and coherence. A representation of critical thinking and inquiry with quotes and concepts. So, whether you're a mathematician, a philosopher, or simply a curious learner, we hope that this video has inspired you to explore the fascinating relationship between mathematics and philosophy in the search for truth. A final transition to end the video.